much? How much?
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You crazy mother.
What is up, everybody? My name is Dane Thompson, and you're watching BurnDown. So, in today's episode, what I'd like to do, we are still on the PowerGlide build, and I want to jump into just one portion of it because there's, disassembly, cleaning it, modifications of different things, and then reassembly. So what I would like to do today is I would like to show you guys the assembly of the high clutch drum, and then also kind of explain what I had to go through to get this thing so we could reassemble it, and how I actually screwed it up already, just to keep things 100, because that's part of a learning curve. And like I said in the beginning of this, I'm not a professional, so you either pay somebody to do it or you pay to learn. So we are learning, and I definitely had a pretty big mistake the other day on this, and I will go over that with you guys. All right, so here are essentially all the parts plus these little springs. So this, oh, here they go. Bye springs, don't leave me. All right, stick with me. So all of these parts combined make this clutch pack, and this is your high clutch pack. When this is engaged, it is running off of these frictions and clutches, or steels and clutches, I'm sorry, and that means you are in high gear, and hopefully you're hauling ass. But to make this whole assembly work, there's actually a piston, which is this guy. And this actually lives down here at the bottom, and then fluid pushes against this, and this is what moves up and down and actually engages this pack of clutches. So there are also a few little ribs right here. It's hard to see, but this top edge, let me use my this very top ridge right here is where the clip rests to hold everything together. This next little rib right below that has a little ledge. Like if you look down, it sticks out just a little bit right there, and you can see that. That catches the edge of the sun gear, so that way it doesn't go all the way inside. It only rests right down. As you can see, there's nothing in here. This guy only rests right down. Of course, it's a tight fit on the edge of that, and then there's enough room underneath here for that clip to fit in. So essentially, we can clip this whole thing together, and there's nothing in there, right? Let's see if I can get it apart one-handed. You want this thing to fit nice and snug, by the way. If it's loose, you need to get a new one. With that being said, there's a certain amount of space and distance in here. First thing on this distance from here, from this bottom edge here to the bottom underneath here, on the long drum, which this is over an inch. It's an inch and like 7/32, I believe. I'll put it on the screen. The short version of this, from this ledge here down, would only be 1 inch. So if you have the 1 inch drum, you need to source a new one because you cannot add clutches and steels. There's no room, and what'll happen is these little outer rings could actually go underneath this edge here. Ask me how I know that. How do you know that, Dane? Well, I know that because when you add clutches and steels, you have to make up the difference. So I talked to the guys at BTE, and they said between 60 and 70 thousandths of room between that little edge and the top of where your pack starts, and that's with the piston and everything in place. Well, my original piston was pretty thick. These come in different thicknesses, so whatever you got is kind of luck of the draw, whatever comes out of your clutch pack. And if you want to add steels and clutches, you have to make room for it, and you make room by putting this thing in a lathe and then turning it down. So there's this edge here, which is where these things actually ride. They sit on that, and then this thing moves up and down and pushes against the steel, and that's how this essentially works. Well, the first one of these I measured it, and we put it in there, and I turned it down, and I thought I was at 70 thousandths, and I cut too much. So what I would do is I would load this piston in here, like this, and then this steel would go in. See how I can't turn it because it's in here? It was actually lower than the edge of this. This is after I machined it. You can turn it and it'll get stuck, and then obviously there's no way the piston could come up if it was underneath there, right? So it would spin. So if you're cutting this piston and you're trying to get your measurement and you drop your steel in, your first steel, and it'll turn, you went too far and you screwed up and you need to get a new piston. Ask me how I know? Because that is a new piston and it has been machined. So now I'm going to show you guys how to assemble this, but the machining portion of it needs to be done You need to do that yourself by measuring. You need to have all your clutches and steels that you're going to run. You need to have all of your stuff disassembled. You need to take all of your piston and everything apart. And then you need to measure it. And another important note too is take out the seals. I still have the lip seal in here right now on the inner seal, but the outer lip seal is actually out. So you notice how that thing just dropped in? So take all your seals out, that way that thing will bottom out, because if you leave all your seals in, you're gonna fight taking it in and putting it out. And I left this in because it was the old seal on the original piston, because I was like, oh, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna change it anyway. Well, it interferes when you're going to measure stuff. So I think that's how I got screwed up, is I didn't take the seals out before I bottomed out the piston to measure it. So I measured wrong, I cut too much, and fast forward, here we are, different piston. This one is cut properly, and I'll show you guys that when we assemble it. All right, guys, I want to show you a quick thing that I learned trying to get the piston out of the drum. The piston is captured by a little snap ring, and you have to compress it to pull that out and then release it, and that's where all these little springs and stuff come from. We'll show you how to assemble it, but if you followed what I said or followed the video and you did kind of what I did, you purchased this. So this tool actually gets the reverse piston out of the case, which looks like this. Well, this goes into the lugs, and then you put it down like that, and then you tighten it up, and it compresses it, and it's essentially the same way this is held together. Well, this one, you have to push it down, right? On this sits here, it has to push down, and you still have to be able to get inside and get to the snap ring. So what I did, that I thought was pretty genius, is I took this thing and I ground the end of it off, so it comes off, and this just so happens to fit here. So now what I can do is I took this piece off, and then we unscrew this piece. So now essentially what we have, instead of a compressor pushing, we have one that can pull. So if we run this way, then we get a long bolt and a nut and washers, which I have here. We can actually put this through the top, thread it on the bottom, and then when I tighten this up, it'll actually compress it. So let me show you, that's what we're gonna do to put this actually back together and to put it in. So let's do that now. Real quick too, before you do any of that other stuff, the first thing you should do is replace this bushing. This is a Teflon line bushing, so I pressed the old one out and pushed this one in. And I just hit it with stuff. I'll be honest, I don't have an arbor press or real press, so I found, I think it was a socket that was that size, and beat that one out and put this one in. So hopefully it's flush where it should be. It looks good. And I don't know, we'll go from there. So yeah, quick side note on that. So this is a snap ring that holds it together. This is the top piece. We got our piston that we cleaned. We have all these springs. First thing on this, you need your seal. Got my seal here. There's a little lip on this. If you flipped it over, if you look, there's a lip. See? No lip, lip. You want this side facing down toward where the pressure's coming from, so it flares out and grabs that pressure. So this side facing down, remember that. Same thing with the inner seal. There's a seal in here. It's hard to see, but same thing with that facing down. Got some transmission fluid here because nobody wants to go in dry. You know what I'm saying? Lube her up. And this goes on the outside underneath. It's my neighbor mowing the lawn. Now when you put it in, make sure it's flush, that everything's in there. So it should look like that. Piston seal in. We'll put this down in here. So we have our other seal in, piston seal. This goes down inside. Give her a little love on this one too, so nobody goes in there dry. I'm gonna put it along the edge too, where that seal, so I don't rip that seal when I push it in. So just to show you guys, we put around the edge so we don't grab when that seal goes in place here. It is bevel, but I just don't want to rip the seal or nothing. Better to lube it than to chance it. Okay, so that's in. And the reason you saw me grab this is it has transmission fluid, or it's hard to grab. So I cocked it just a little bit to get one side of the lip started, and then I used this and then just twisted it, and then that'll get that seal started so that way it goes down. So this thing is in, it's nice and bottomed out. Next thing, we put all the boys in here. All these little dudes. Oh geez. Yeah, clean it and then drop it on the floor and then put it in. That's how I do it. That's how you can do it. In the book it says put a little bit of grease or whatever to hold them in place. I'm not gonna bother. So I'm daring. I'm sure they know what they're talking about. I don't. Or make it happen anyway. So this is what it looks like when they're in. I'm actually missing one, and I'm not really gonna worry about it, honestly. In the book it says you could take every other one out so it'll engage faster. So I imagine if I'm missing one, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, it was given back to me in a box. We took it apart when we went to the transmission place today, and obviously they all didn't make it home. But we're gonna continue, because that's what we do. I'm not stopping over one little spring. I don't care, we're good. So let's keep on keeping on. So next you take your cap and you get it over the tops of all of these guys so it captures all the springs, except for the one you're missing because you lost one. And then now we have to compress this down and then put the snap ring in, and then our piston is complete. So let me get this thing started and then we'll get on camera. I'll show you how we did it. All right, so I got this thing started. It's balancing on here. There's actually a hole in the table, so there's a bolt underneath the top of this, that way it doesn't flop around. Just to show you guys, got a little 1/2" wrench here. Let me see if I can hold and turn this. If it falls over, the trick is it's got to go down square. I'm gonna be able to hold it. Okay, so you gotta compress the square. Once it's compressed, there's a little relief there, which is where this guy fits in. Snaps into place like so, and then we just back this guy out, seat it. So here's my contraption. Like I said, there's a bolt on the bottom. Here you go. And we take it out. A little lever on the edge. I said that way nothing's dry. All right, now that we have this in, you got it lubed up. Next, you want to pack the clutch pack with frictions and steels. So you always start with a steel and end with a steel. And then we can see that you can turn that, or you can't turn that, I should say, because it's captured, so that way when it moves it won't get caught underneath that little edge. And then every time you put one down, you want to give it some juice, all right? That way nothing is dry. For the first time when it moves around or any of that stuff, nobody's going in dry. Remember that one. And if you're in doubt, put stuff on it. That's what I do. Got it? And you just alternate until we get all of our clutches and steels put in there. With a little juice. You guys don't have to do it one-handed, and you don't have to talk to people because you're smart. You're just going to do it right, and you're going to pay attention. Not like what I'm trying to do. Learn and then show people. It's like the blind leading the blind. See what happens when you talk? Things get all messed up. So your clutch is packed in here. This is this shoulder right here, and here's the top of the clutch. So when you push this down, you take a measurement from here to the top of that. You should measure like 60 thousandths or so, is what I was told. 60 to 70 is what he said. I think this might be a little tight, but I'm okay with it. Everything seemed to work okay. So that is where you take your measurement from the top of this to that bad boy there. So you got your measurement, everything is in. After you get it packed, thrust washer goes in here. This dude goes in here. Make sure it seats flush. This is your next piece of the puzzle. And the sun gear is your last piece. Here. Put our snap ring in. All right, there it is. And then the last thing you can do to check it, like I said, I've got a hole through the table. So you can actually put this bad boy in, and then you can rotate it. So see how I'm able to rotate that? So there's enough play to get that to rotate. And then if you shake it, a little bit of play. So there you go. Now our high drum is complete. So we got 6 clutches and 7 steels in this bad boy. From what I've read too, every clutch is like 20% more holding power. So if you had 4 and you doubled it to 8, one of the bigger drums, you essentially double the clamping force of this thing. So you figure if the stock one had 4, we went up to 6, we got 50% more clamping force now with this bad boy. So that is it for today. The next adventure we will go on is we will finally start putting the transmission back together. I thought I was going to be able to do that already, but I had a setback because I screwed it up by messing that piston up. So now we are corrected. Now I know this works. It can actually go back in the transmission. We will get back on it in the next episode and hopefully finally stick that thing together so we can get on to other things. If you guys like this, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell the world. Tell that guy over there with the leaf blower that's been running the whole time I've been filming, I'm out.